Now, yesterday we made a entire discussion talking about Selection 10. Actually, it might have been earlier on in the weekend. We made a video talking about Selection 10, which is a set that basically is probably going to be the predecessor to the Link Vrains pack. Now, you guys remember the whole Link Vrains pack in the OCG. It was a set that was designed to give Link monsters to all of these archetypes. Well, we got some interesting details for this set. So let's dig on into more info on Selection 10, shall we? In the world of Selection 10, it does not appear that all archetypes are going to be equally supported. So more details on Selection 10 from the OCG here. Turns out the spread is quite odd. The set contains a total of 50 cards, of which 35 are new and the rest are reprints. And the rarity distribution will go 5 ultra rares, 8 super rares, 12 rares, and 25 commons. Now, there are 10 archetypes getting support in here. Alright, now if you divide 35 by 10, you're going to notice something a little bit odd here. You're going to notice that the number is 3.5. Okay, now what does that mean? Not everything is going to be equal in the world of Selection 10. So, previously I talked about that Selection 10 would be this set that we would be giving support to 10 previous archetypes. Now, this does confirm one thing that I was actually hoping for. And my comment section was like, well, Robbie, if this is the predecessor to the Link Vrains pack, those decks only got one support card in there. Yes, they did. But this is not like the Link Vrains pack. This is Konami's attempt at going, hey, Satellar Knights, hey, I don't know, we'll talk more about that in a minute. It's my chance to go, hey, Satellar Knights, you guys want to be a functioning deck? Let me tell you what, hey, we got some extra slots. You guys want 4 new cards? And then you got aliens over here going, and then Konami's like, you get 3 new cards. And then you literally imagine this alien going, oh man, Satellar Knight's got more cards than me. Now, one big thing that draws me away from this pack here, and I question mark this statement here, because when you look at the way that this set is, if this is the predecessor to the Link Vrains pack, are they going to support archetypes that previously got support in Link Vrains pack? And when I made the previous discussion, I didn't mention aliens because I was like, well, aliens got their Link monster. That was considered their last wave of support. Why would we give more to aliens at this point when, there's other archetypes like Satellar Knights over here that have not gotten new support in 150 years. Now, that being said, though, I believe officially looking at the spread here with the large potential of all of these new cards, 35 new cards, by the way. I just want to reiterate that here. When you look at that spread of data, that pretty much tells me that whatever they're going to be doing here, these are going to be major power-ups to these archetypes. Now, the next question you have to ask yourself here is, well, if we are giving a power-up to, say, Boojins, for example, is 4 cards enough for Boojin? I don't think. I think if you give an archetype 5 new cards for this set, I don't think that's a good idea. I am afraid that only if you put an archetype in here and you're like, all right, we're only going to give you 2 cards, I don't think that they're going to do that. I feel like the spread's going to be 3 versus 4. So, can you make Boojins good on 4 new cards? All right, at max, that's 12 new cards for the deck, but knowing Konami's card design team, it'll probably be only potentially 9 good cards for your deck. All right, so can we make Boojins good on potentially 9 new cards? 3 of each, by the way. I don't think so. That's the other thing. You got to look at this archetype here and go, do we have a good solid base? All right, can we make the deck better on potentially 12 new cards for the deck? You look at Stellar Knights, Oh, hell yeah. All right. Satellar Knights, you can make good on at least 3, I think. So 3 new copies of each card, 9 in the deck. Fill in staples with the Neb should be very easy fix. All right. So check, yes. We can make Stellar Knights good. Can you make Aliens good on 3 new cards, 3 of each in the deck? I don't think so. The whole design mechanic with the alien counters, I don't think it's going to work unless you are giving them some crazy support, like Worm Nebula Meteorite on crack. All right, like you're going to have to go to that level for this. Now, speaking of worms, this pack gives Papa MQ40 here some hope. All right, I love worms. Worms. The Worms X, the Worm Carteros, and the Worm Megan Engine with Worm Nebula Meteorite was one of my favorite stun decks in the game. All you need to do is just give us a nice little power up. Alright, I don't know how you do it, I don't care how you do it, but we need something. And that's something else that we could definitely see here with the Selection 10. I do want to point out here that the logo is designed off of the original logo, and that was something else that was brought up to my attention in the previous video here. Was these might only be archetypes that were from the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And when I'm looking at that, I'm like, well, okay, so it's based off the original logo. So you got like Harpies, Red Eyes, Dark Magician, Blue Eyes. I don't think they're gonna... It wouldn't make sense to put Dark Magician and Blue Eyes in here because those cards iconically will sell sets by themselves. But I don't think that that's going to be the case. Just because the logo is designed off of the old stuff, we might see something into GX era. A few people were talking about. But it really just depends. I'm assuming that this will just be spread out across everything. We'll see very good power-ups across the board. And one thing that I hate to say it, if we are going like the 4-card route, you are going to have to design some rotas for decks. Alright, like when you specifically look at worms over here, one big thing that we need for the deck would be a searcher. Certain archetypes, what is it? Reptiles are missing a good rota. I know King of the Feral Imps exists. Okay, sure. Alright, a lot of decks put their searchers on Xyz monsters. Look at Gallant Granite. Alright, so Gurgigan X for level 4 lower machines, but they got more searchers anyway. You do have to understand, the old formula for decks was design a Stratos, design a Rota, design a draw card. Alright, you literally give a deck all that, oh, you were going somewhere in terms of old Yu-Gi-Oh! Design. But I hate to say it, but most of the things that I'd be looking at, like back to reference to Bujin here, like yeah, Bujin has Tenki, alright, yeah, sure, it's good, but what you're searching off Tenki isn't that good. You almost literally have to give them a better Tenki with a draw card put on it. And then at that point, like, you're going to run into issues where people are just going to splash the Bujin engine for the draw 1. Like, if you design an engage for Bujins, they're like, hey, search for a Bujin monster, and then draw a card. We're right back to where we were with decks wanting to abuse generic draw power. Where there's a will, there's a way in this community, and they will find a way to abuse this to literal hell. It's amazing. So, good point here. I'm glad to see that there's going to be 35 new cards in Selection 10. It's good to see that, the fears that players were having about only one new card, have been solved. I'm very happy with that. The sad part is not every archetype will be supported equally, because 35 divided by 10 is 3.5, blah, 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 blah. So some archetypes will probably get 3, some will get 4, and I do feel bad if there's a couple of archetypes in here that only get 2. Alright, I could see that actually happening, as much as I don't want it to be that way. We'll have to wait and see, but this is a power-up pack to 10 decks. I'm glad that they did manage to get that many in there. And I'm hoping that some of these are different from the voting process that's currently happening in the TCG. I would like decks that weren't mentioned, like Satellar Knights, to get power-ups. That'd be great. Though it is disappointing that if we are going away from that style, that means X-Sabers have no hope. So, we'll have to wait and see. But guys, please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about the more information on Selection 10. And I'm very curious to see what we will get out of this pack. Alright guys, I'm out. Peace. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCall40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCall40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcallgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.